The gavel crashes against the wooden board, resonating through the courtroom like thunder booming across a desert tempest. Everyone freezes. Glares shoot to the front, where Kody Brown sits rigid, his jaw clenched, his once gold curls now pulled back, but no haircut could conceal the anger burning in his eyes. Across the aisle, Christine Brown leans forward, hands clasped, lips pursed into a half-smile that seemed more of a challenge than forgiveness. This isn't another family argument. This is the aftermath of decades, years of broken promises, twisted words, and too late apologies. And today, in front of the judge, reporters, and a standing room-only crowd, Christine isn't there to silently acknowledge Kody's so-called apology. She's there to take it apart, piece by piece, and reveal to the world the truth that's been hidden behind reality TV cutting for years. The tension is intolerable. Robyn holds a tissue in the back, her cheeks already flushed red with crying. Janelle shifts restlessly, eyes hopping from Christine to Kody, as if she's observing a game of chess where both men are prepared to upend the board. Mary, predictably, sits on the periphery, her face impassive, but you can sense the baggage in her silence, an inaudible storm that echoes Christine's. Kody swallows hard, poised to begin a speech regarding regret, regarding misunderstanding, regarding the way that everything wasn't really what it seemed like. But Christine stops him before he can get a single word out. "No, Kody," she speaks coldly, her words slicing across the room like a blade. "You don't get to stand here and play this off like it's an apology. This is about taking responsibility." Gasps travel through the courtroom. Kody goes a rich, angry red. He glares, attempting to wrest back control, but the momentum already has. Christine has the floor, and she knows it. And in that moment, the audience understands, this isn't about Christine versus Kody. This is all the broken promises, all the late-night tears, all the betrayals, finally being dragged out into the light. But here's the catch. Christine's words are not shade, they're proof. And as she gradually opens up, with what Kody never anticipated, the whole courtroom leans in that much farther. Even the judge, normally calm and aloof, adjusts his glasses and stares at her. What was to be Kody's redemptive moment has now become Christine's opening salvo. And this fight is just getting started. The truth always emerges, but when it does, are we ever prepared for how loudly it resonates? Now picture being a fly on the wall in the courtroom. The rich odor of shiny wood, blended with the wispy scent of perfume, and aftershave hangs in the air. Cameras snap from the press tables, pens scratch across pads, and the fluorescent lights buzz softly above, lending an almost surreal clarity to every second. Christine sits back a little, folding her arms with a serenity that borders on practice. She doesn't have to speak loudly to demand attention. Her voice is weighted with experience. "Kody, you've apologized a million times," she tells him, her voice calm, measured. "But what you've never done is own the truth. You never once even looked me in the eye and said, 'Christine, I hurt you. Christine, I failed you. Christine, I let our family disintegrate, because I cared more about control than love.' And now you're here playing like words can just make it all go away." Each syllable drops like a hammer, hammering nails into a coffin that Kody is frantically trying not to get into. He fidgets in his chair, stroking his hair, his go-to frustration gesture. "That's not fair," he says, but his voice cracks, betraying him. Christine leans forward. "Fair? You want to discuss fair? How fair was that when you informed me that you didn't desire intimacy with me anymore, but you desired my loyalty? How fair was that when you flaunted your relationship with Robyn in my face and led me to believe we were still on equal ground?" The silence that follows is oppressive. Sometimes the sharpest knife isn't anger. It's the steady, quiet truth that no one can dispute. Even those who arrived cynical, believing this was just another dysfunctional family flinging dirty laundry, are leaning forward in their seats. Something about Christine's calm, not wanting to be intimidated by Kody's glare, makes this more than a divorce or a custody battle. It feels monumental. And just when you think Christine's had enough, she throws in a final grenade, her eyes clashing with Kody's like she's glaring right through his heart. "Apologize all you want, Kody, but this time it won't save you." The courtroom is a whirl with whispers, reporters jotting notes madly, the judge banging his gavel to bring the room into order. But Christine doesn't back down. She's already won the first round, and everyone's aware of it. What's stronger, the apology we do here, or the one we know will never happen? This is where our saga starts. The apology that never arrived. The courtroom thriller that nobody predicted. The collapse of a family dynasty constructed on secrets, loyalty, and the perception of togetherness. And believe me, the plot twists that ensue will leave you doubting everything you ever thought you knew about the Brown family. Before we get deeper into Christine's fiery exchange, let me pose the question to you. Would you accept an apology in public if someone had hurt you for years, or would you insist on the reason behind it? Share your thoughts below. I'm reading each and every one of them. The courtroom falls silent, but the silence is not calm. It's electric, like the moments before lightning. Then Christine leans in, her voice low but slicing. Do you think saying sorry makes what you did to me, to all of us, just go away? Gasps run through the crowd once again. Reporters write more frantically. Flashes of cameras illuminate, and Robyn hides her face and her hands, as if she already knows where this is headed. This is the moment the air shifts. What was to be a hearing concerning closure is becoming an open wound, ripped wide before strangers. Kody fidgets in his seat, readjusting his tie, attempting to hide the tempest raging within him. But Christine doesn't relent. She won't relent. You're going to see Christine Brown do what no one in Sister Wives history has ever dared to do. Strip Kody's apology bare, exposing not just the cracks in their marriage, but the lies that have held this family together for decades. This is not forgiveness. This is war. When the truth starts spilling, it doesn't trickle. It floods. Christine stands up, and the courtroom closes in around her. Her attorney tries to grab her arm, whispering for her to wait. But Christine refuses. She isn't waiting anymore. He wants to apologize for the way he handled things, she continues, her tone firm. But what he's actually apologizing for is losing control. And I won't let him distort this moment into some sort of heroic act of humility. The judge leans forward, interested. Even he can tell that Christine isn't testifying. She's performing surgery on years of emotional manipulation. Every word she selects is calculated, cutting down Kody's defense before he can even open his mouth. Kody snaps finally. His chair scrapes loudly against the floor as he rises, his voice thundering. Don't you rewrite history, Christine. You walked away. You tore this family apart. And now you want to stand here and pretend like I'm the bad guy. Christine doesn't blink. She angles her chin, her eyes locked on him. I didn't tear this family apart, Kody, you did. When you chose one wife's happiness over the rest of ours. The courtroom fills with whispers. Robyn's face goes red, and Janelle's fists wrap harder around her notebook. Mary's eyes cast down, lips pursed into a tight line. Sometimes the loudest defense just shows how guilty we truly are. Christine refuses to be swayed by the whispers. She moves a step closer to Kody, not stepping across the courtroom line, but emotionally ramming through the one he's constructed. Why do you even want to discuss apology? She goes on. Tell this court why your apologies always follow the cameras off. Tell them why you'd prefer to defend your reputation over your wives. Tell them why the only time you seem sorry is when the camera hovers over you. Kody's face is beet red at this point. He opens his mouth, closes it again. He glances over at Robyn, pleading for her to help him out. But she's already in tears. Christine takes the silence in her hand like a weapon. You apologize, Kody? But apology doesn't take the nights I wept myself to sleep. Apology doesn't reverse the years my children witness me feel unwanted. Apology doesn't close up the scars when you just keep opening them up. Her voice shakes, but she does not quit. Instead, the rawness emboldens her. It's not weakness to weep. Tears are the keenest truth we have. Everyone in the courtroom is holding their breath now. Even the judge allows the stillness to build, hesitant to intrude on the heaviness of Christine's words. Kody speaks at last, his voice softer now, nearly pleading. I'm here because I'm sorry about the way things worked out. I'm sorry. Christine interrupts him with a sour laugh. You regret losing control, Kody, not losing me. The words linger in the air like smoke, impenetrable. Columnists are writing their stories in haste, anticipating tomorrow's banner. Janelle fidgets uncomfortably, her allegiance torn in two, while Mary appears to be nodding silently in agreement. And Robyn? She appears as though the apology just decimated by Christine was hers as well. that her world she so meticulously constructed is falling apart second by second. The judge then finally clears his throat. Mrs. Brown, Mr. Brown, if we can't keep this under control, I'll have no choice but to call a recess. But nobody hears him. The air is too charged, the feelings too close to the surface. Christine breathes deeply, her voice reducing just a notch in intensity, as if she's ripping the rug from beneath Kody with her calmness. You can say you're sorry, Kody, you can say it to the world, but until you admit the truth about why you actually did what you did, your words are empty. And with that, she sits down, folding her arms, her expression impassive. The silence which follows is more weighty than any yelling ever could be. The most deadly words are those unsaid, because everybody invents their own truth where the blanks are concerned. Kody leans back into his chair, one foot still on the floor, but he isn't defeated looking. He is calculating. His jaw clenches, his fingers tap against the table, and for a fleeting moment you can almost see the gears shifting. Because while Christine might have won this battle, Kody isn't the kind of guy to let it rest here. And the question that hangs in the air, the question everyone is afraid to ask aloud, is straightforward. What's next for Kody? The response isn't delivered verbally, but the chilling smile that crosses his face, just prior to the gavel coming down, and the judge calling for a recess. The crowd rotates, whispers fluttering like hornets, but Christine doesn't stir. She observes Kody, and he observes her, both of them aware that this isn't finished. In fact, it's just begun. And as Kody exits the courtroom, mumbling something to Robyn that no one else can possibly hear, Christine whispers in her lawyer's ear, and utters exactly 3 words that keep us all bracing. He's hiding something. The courtroom doors creak heavily as they swing open, and the tension in the air seems more palpable than ever. The recess was intended to diffuse, allow both sides to catch their breath, but only served to make the storm more intense. Reporters rumble like hornets outside, conjecturing wildly, as the Browns take their seats once more with expressions that speak volumes more than words ever could. Here's the catch. Until now, this war has been over apologies, regrets, and emotional wound. But Christine Brown is going to turn this up a notch. She's no longer fighting for herself. She's fighting to expose something that Kody has fought hard to keep hidden. Picture being in a courtroom, believing that you've witnessed the worst of a family's secrets, and then realizing the greatest bombshell has yet to be dropped. What Christine is about to share might destroy Kody's masterfully crafted image once and for all, and you can almost see panic set in his eyes for the first time. This is not about love lost. This is about the deception that might alter everything. Sometimes the loudest secrets are the ones that everyone ignores. Christine's lawyer stands up slowly, adjusting his tie, his face serene but piercing. Your Honor, he starts, my client has something important to bring to the table before we go any further. Something that speaks directly to the validity of Mr. Brown's so-called apology. The judge raises an eyebrow. Kody stiffens, his fingers clenching on the table until they're white. Robyn leans in beside him, whispering wildly, but he doesn't react. His gaze is fixed on Christine. Christine rises, her manila folder clutched in her hands. Her hands are steady, but the quiet weight in her voice is palpable. As she continues, this isn't about the past, this is about the truth. Kody won't accept. The room leans forward as one. Reporters freeze mid-scribble, cameras adjust focus, and even Janelle straightens up in her seat. Mary looks up, her eyes scanning narrow, as if she already knows something big is about to be dropped. Christine pulls out a stack of papers. These are emails, texts, and financial records that prove exactly where Kody's loyalty has been, and it wasn't with his wives. The words cut through the courtroom like shards of glass. Robyn gasps, Kody pounds his fist on the table, and the judge is forced to bang his gavel twice, just to maintain order. Paper trails never lie, they just wait until the right time to be uncovered. Christine's attorney brandishes the documents. These documents clearly show that Mr. Brown diverted family money that was intended to support all 4 homes, and instead redirected it into a personal account connected directly to Robyn. The room erupts. Reporters yell out questions, the gallery hums, and Robyn breaks down in tears, grabbing Kody's arm as if it is the one thing holding her up. Janelle's jaw hangs open, speechless, while Mary turns white. Kody leaps to his feet, his voice thundering. That's not true. That's distorted. I've done everything I could for this family. Christine interrupts him with a level, not to be tempered tone. You did everything for one family, Kody, and you left the rest of us struggling. Her statement stings more than any yelling could. The judge leans forward, his voice unyielding. Mr. Brown, you will have your say. But presently we will hear from Mrs. Brown and her attorney. Kody thuds back into his chair, his chest laboring, as Robyn quietly weeps beside him. Christine breathes deeply and goes on. You want to discuss apologies? You want to stand here and act like you're sorry things turned out the way they did? Then explain these women why their kids' college accounts went dry, while Robyn's mortgage was paid in full. Explain them why you said we had to tighten the budget, while Robyn's family lived like no one had altered anything. The silence that follows is deafening. The fluorescent lights even hum more loudly, as if the building is taking a deep breath. The truth not only hurts, it leaves scars that cannot be overlooked. Janelle shifts restlessly, her expression a blend of shock and vindication. She'd long suspected money favoritism, but being presented with the evidence like this leaves no doubt. Mary's eyes shine with held-back tears, her mouth pressed so hard it whitens. Kody's voice is low, growling. You don't know what it takes to keep this family together. You don't know the sacrifices I've made. Christine leans forward, her voice firm but pointed. No, Kody. What you fail to see is that love without equality isn't love at all, and no apology can conceal betrayal. Robyn attempts to interrupt, her voice trembling. That's not fair, Christine. You don't know what we've been through. Christine cuts her off with a glance so piercing it shuts her up in an instant. We all know what we've been through, Robyn. The difference is, we didn't all get protection. We didn't all get Kody's loyalty. Some of us got left behind. The judge must pound his gavel again. Order? I will have order in this courtroom. But even he cannot stem the avalanche that has been released. The gallery is abuzz with whispers. Reporters are literally stumbling over each other. And the tension between Christine and Kody is like a drawn wire waiting to snap. When loyalty is paid in cash, love is nothing but a transaction. Christine's attorney pushes the papers across the judge, who reads them intently. His forehead scrunches up, lips compressed into a thin line. These are serious charges, Mrs. Brown. If proven, they may have repercussions outside the walls of this courtroom. Kody squirms in his seat, the earlier smirk erased entirely. His eyes flicker to Robyn, then Christine as if seeking an escape. But Christine is far from done. She moves closer, her voice dropping to a soft whisper, intimate but lethal. You want to apologize, Kody? Then begin by apologizing to your children. Begin by explaining to them why some of them had to do without, as you constructed a kingdom for one. The room goes into shocked silence. No one stirs, no one speaks. Even the judge is momentarily paralyzed. And then, in the moment that the force of Christine's words hangs over the air in the room, suffocating the very life out of it, Kody does something completely unexpected. He laughs, not a nervous titter, not a breakdown of emotion, but a deep, bitter laugh that sends shivers down the spines of every witness in the courtroom. Christine's gaze follows him, her calm unreplaced, but her eyes narrowing. What's so funny, Kody? His laughter fades into a sneer. You think you've stumbled on some big secret. You think this makes a difference? You don't know half of it. The courtroom erupts once more, the judge thumping his gavel wildly. But no one can overrule the words that hang like a pall on the air. For if Christine's papers expose betrayal, Kody's sneer threatens something much worse. A secret so sinister that it could kill them all. The instant the gavel rings out again, the courtroom is no longer a chamber of law and order, but a battlefield. The judge might be dressed in the robe, but now it's Christine and Kody who are commanding troops of truth and lies, up and down these waxed wooden floors. Plus picture being in the room, seeing a man smile at allegations of betrayal, before realizing his smirk isn't for denial. It's a warning. What if the guy you believed was on the ropes was actually the one who carried the biggest secret of them all? This isn't about financial favoritism or botched apologies anymore. This is about a revelation so large it could tear the family, and quite possibly the entire sister wives' legacy, to shreds. And Christine is aware of it. You can see the tell in the way her eyes narrow, preparing for impact. When one laughs in the face of the truth, they're covering something up, something larger. Christine leans in, her tone firm, her calm unruffled by the mocking tone still ringing in her ears. Go on, Kody. Tell us what's so amusing. Kody wipes away a tear from the corner of his eye, not one of sadness, but of humor. His smile grows and the courtroom seems to grow colder all at once. You think I'm on trial here, Christine? You think this little routine of yours can undo all that I have created? You're missing the point. The courtroom whispers erupts around him. The judge slams his gavel once more. But even his firm demand for order can't extinguish the flame racing through the room. Christine refuses to yield. Then enlighten us, Kody. What's the point? Kody leans in, dropping his voice just low enough to cause the whole courtroom to lean in. The point is, I know things too. Things you'd rather keep buried. The words land with the impact of a grenade. Christine's expression never budges, but her fingers on the tabletop edge clinch. Janelle breathes in sharply. Robyn is clinging to Kody's arm as if to a lifeline. And Mary looks down at her clasped hands, her eyes seeming to pray. Secrets are never one-sided. And sometimes the secrets we hide are more weighty than the secrets we reveal. Christine rises slowly, her tone smooth but sharpened with metal. If you've got something to say, Kody, then say it. Don't use half threats and smirks. The judge clears his throat. Mr. Brown, unless you have something to prove, I advise you not to make innuendo. But Kody is not hearing. His stare is fixed on Christine, a silent war raging between the two of them that no one else in the room can possibly comprehend. At last he slumps back in his chair and shrugs. Fine, you want the truth? You can't handle it. The courtroom gasps, the tension rising like a rope yanked too taut. Christine's attorney intervenes, his tone biting. Your Honor, we request Mr. Brown explain his statement. But Christine doesn't wait. She moves forward, her voice carrying above the din. You think I'm scared of the truth, Kody? After everything you've done to me? No. The only person scared of the truth in this room is you. Her words cut across the room, but Kody just smirks once more, his silence now more frightening than any tirade. Sometimes silence is louder than any words could have been. The judge finally calls for a recess, but the harm is already done. The courtroom hums like a hive disturbed from its nest. Reporters murmur into recorders, pecking away at laptops. Cameras flash like lightning in a storm. Christine slumps into her chair, hands shaking now that the moment has passed. Janelle inclines forward, leaning in and whispering, "What does he mean? What does he have on you?" Christine remains silent. Her gaze is still fixed on Kody, who has his arm wrapped around Robyn, leaning in to whisper something in her ear that causes her to nod through tears. Mary breaks her silence at last, her tone low but commanding. He's bluffing. Christine slowly shakes her head. No, he's not. The words hang there. A curse. The most terrifying foe is the one with cards still left to play. As the courtroom pours out for the recess, Christine follows her lawyer into a silent hallway. He's going to do something, she says, her tone low and urgent. You saw him smile. Her attorney scowls. If he does have proof, we'll take care of it. But Christine, you've already unsettled things. Don't let him intimidate you into stepping back. Christine exhales, her back against the icy wall. She lets the mask slip momentarily, the pain raw and unhidden. You don't get it. Kody's always dictated the terms. And if he believes he's losing, he'll burn down the entire house before he allows the truth to prevail. The words strike a chill, prophetic even to her own attorney. Back in court, the judge summons everyone to come back. The tension hasn't lessened. If anything, it's doubled. Everyone's looking at Kody now, anticipating his next step. He doesn't keep them waiting. The moment the session is called back into order, he stands, his voice ringing out. Your Honor, if Mrs. Brown is so eager for the truth, perhaps it's time the world got to hear what sort of secrets she's been keeping. Christine tenses, her blood cold. Unveiling the truth is strong, but use it as a weapon, and it will kill you. The judge stops him. Mr. Brown, if you have something to introduce, now is the moment. Kody smirks once more, pulling his hand out of his briefcase. The room is breathless, as he extracts a sealed envelope. He sets it down on the table, pushing it toward the judge. Everything you need to know is inside. Christine's heart threatens to explode in her chest. She doesn't even know what's in the envelope. Yet the glint in Kody's eyes turns her stomach upside down. The judge opens the seal, removing a few pages. His face changes almost immediately. Surprise, then alarm, then a thoughtful mask of neutrality. He looks at Christine, then back at Kody. Christine's attorney leans forward, whispering urgently, "Do you know what this is?" She shakes her head, her throat parched. The judge puts the papers down, folding his hands. "These are serious accusations, Mr. Brown. But until we can substantiate them, they are just that, accusations." Kody flings his arms wide dramatically. "By all means, prove them. But when the truth is known, Christine won't be such a victim." Christine's heart is racing. The gallery hums more loudly than ever, reporters almost shaking with excitement. Janelle is shocked, Mary is stunned, and Robyn? Robyn is a victorious tear-stained mess. The judge directs the documents be entered into evidence, but the harm is already done. The seed of doubt has been sown, and Kody is aware of it. And as the courtroom rises for the day, Christine mutters to herself, almost inaudible but heavy with dread, "He's going to ruin me." The night after court, Christine can't sleep. She stares at the ceiling, the silence of her room louder than any gavel strike. In her mind, Kody's smirk loops endlessly, paired with the ominous weight of that sealed envelope. What secrets did he unleash? What story was he trying to spin now? What if everything you've fought for, every truth you've spoken, could be erased by one man's lies? Picture yourself at the precipice of triumph, only to have your foe lay a landmine beneath your feet. That's where Christine stands today, caught between terror of the unknown and the burning within her that will not be extinguished. The letter may have rattled her, but it won't shatter her. Because sometimes the greatest weapon in the courtroom is not evidence, it's bravery. And Christine is about to find hers. When fear knocks, courage is the only answer worth giving. The next morning, Christine walks into the courthouse with her head held higher than ever before. Her lawyer, cautious but steady, whispers, "Stay calm. We'll dismantle whatever this is piece by piece." The gallery is full, journalists already moving in packs like hawks on the scent of blood. Janelle stands alongside Christine, her support as apparent as her resolve. Mary lags behind, silent and inscrutable, while Robyn holds fast to Kody's arm, as if chaining herself to his authority. As the judge comes in, and the room stands, Christine stiffens. Today is not about what Kody exposed, today is about what she does with it. The judge has no time for patience. Yesterday, Mr. Brown filed papers bringing serious allegations. We will now proceed to evaluate their merits. Kody straightens his back, his smile self-satisfied. Christine maintains her forward gaze, never once granting him the pleasure of her fear. Her attorney stands, "Your Honor, before these alleged claims are balanced, we must speak to the credibility of their source. Mr. Brown has a history of verified manipulation and misrepresentation, and we will establish that these documents are nothing more than another trying attempt to use fiction as a weapon." The more loudly a liar speaks, the nearer the truth tends to be. Christine returns to the stand, her voice firm in the midst of the storm raging around her. "I've been called many things by Kody throughout the years, that I was unfaithful, that I was selfish, that I destroyed this family. But the reality is, I left because I was fed up with lies, and here he is now trying to redo the history again. But I'm not going to allow him." Kody springs up. "You left because you wanted to be famous. You wanted to get attention. Stop playing like some martyr." The judge bangs the gavel. "Mr. Brown, you will stay seated." Christine doesn't blink. She gazes at him, her words cutting through the din. "If attention was what I sought, Kody, I would have remained with your circus, but I walked away. And that frightens you, doesn't it?" The gallery gasps, whispers spreading in waves. Freedom is the one thing a controller can't bear to relinquish. The judge gestures for the bailiff to quiet the room. Then the lawyer for Christine asks the papers be read line by line. Each claim proves to be weak. Vague charges about money, inflated tales of Christine's so-called spending sprees, and unsubstantiated rumors, none with solid evidence. The more the papers unravel, the more restless Kody becomes. Robyn leans forward, whispering angrily, but his face reddens at each blow against him. Christine takes advantage. For years Kody's tool was control. He controlled the story, the money, even our feelings. But today, here in this courtroom, that tool is being taken away. And when the truth comes out, all that will be left will be the harm he did. Janelle nods in agreement, adding from the gallery, "And we're not afraid anymore. Once fear dies, control dies with it. The judge agrees to strike portions of the documents from the record due to lack of evidence. Kody slams his fist against the table, muttering angrily under his breath. Robyn's tears start again, but this time they seem less convincing, more calculated. Christine sits taller, her confidence growing with every invalidated claim, but she knows this battle isn't over. Kody will fight to the last word, the last breath, the last weapon he can conjure. As court adjourns for lunch, Christine turns to Janelle and whispers, "He underestimated me. He thought I'd fold, but I'm done folding." Janelle squeezes her hand. "Then let's finish this." And as they emerge into the sunlight outside the courthouse, one reporter yells a question that makes Christine stop dead in her tracks. "Christine, is it true? Kody isn't the only one with secrets." The cameras flash. The crowd goes wild. Christine catches her breath. Because in that instant, she knows the next fight may not be about Kody's lies, but about truths she's not prepared for. Christine comes to a standstill on the courthouse steps, the question cutting through the mayhem louder than the cameras, louder than the reporters, louder than the thumping of her own heart. "Christine, is it true that Kody isn't the only one with secrets?" The audience leans in, microphones thrust toward her like weapons. Her mouth opens but no sound emerges. And that's when it changes. The shift. The spotlight isn't just on Kody anymore. It's on her. What if the hunter got hunted? Christine waited weeks, years to lay bare the deceptions of Kody. But what if she wasn't the only one with the truth for ransom? What if there's a secret hidden somewhere in her history that's so strong it'll kill her credibility, her power, even the triumph she believed was in her grasp? This is the risk of war. You open the door to secrets, and you can't predict whose are going to be next. Sometimes the worst secret isn't the one your adversary shares, it's the one you've worked to forget yourself. The reporters shout once more, this time louder. "Christine, is it true that you hid financial information? That you weren't entirely truthful about your role in the family debts?" Kody's smirk comes back like poison, twisting across his face. He doesn't need to say anything. The crowd is doing his dirty work already. Robyn hugs his arm, her tears now more a look of victory than sorrow. Janelle charges ahead, interposing herself between Christine and the media. "Back off. She owes you nothing, but the harm is done." Cameras flash, sound bites are captured, and tomorrow's front pages are already being printed. Christine takes a shaky breath and pushes on, through the din, her heels clicking on the courthouse steps like war drums. Inside, her attorney leads her to a hushed-up conference room. "Tell me the truth," says the lawyer. "Is there something they could use against you?" Christine blinks, her eyes closed, guilt flashing on her face. "There's something years ago, but it's not what they're saying." Secrets don't remain in the grave. They wait for the proper storm to resurface. In the courtroom, the judge resumes. Kody is well-nigh radiating, whispering excitedly to Robyn, sure that the tide has at last shifted. "Mr. Brown," the judge states, "if you are going to make more accusations, they need to be made formally and in evidence." Kody rises. "All drama. Your Honor, I think Christine has lied about her role in some of the family's joint funds, and I have witnesses who can attest." Gasps spread through the courtroom. Christine's stomach lurches. "Witnesses? Who?" The doors swing open, and in comes a woman Christine hasn't seen in years, a former friend of the family, a woman who used to do bookkeeping for the Browns, when they were still in their early seasons of popularity. Christine clutches the lip of the table, her knuckles pale. The friend takes the stand, their voice calm but heavy with implication. "There were times when Christine asked for money to be moved around quietly, not illegally, but discreetly. Money that wasn't always reported back to Kody." The gallery erupts. Christine's lawyer rises instantly. "Objection, this is speculative and irrelevant." The judge raises a hand. "I'll allow it for now. Continue." Christine senses the gaze of all on her, the media, the public, Kody, Robyn, even Janelle and Mary. For the first time in several weeks, she is not only Christine the survivor, she's Christine the accused. Truth and lies are twins, and in the courtroom, it's all too easy to confuse one with the other. Christine stands up, her voice shaking but unbreakable. "Yes, I requested money to be transferred, but not for me. It was for my children, for their expenses when Kody would not listen. If safeguarding my kids is a crime, then I am guilty." Her words linger, bare and rebellious. Some nod in understanding, some scowl in skepticism. The judge writes silently, his face impassive. Kody takes advantage. "See? She admits it. She manipulated finances for her own agenda. And now she gets to stand here and pretend like she's the victim? Christine confronts him, her voice cracking into flames. Victim? Kody? You left us. You let my kids go without while you invested everything in Robyn's house. Don't even think about calling me selfish for doing what you wouldn't do. The gallery erupts once again. Robyn's tears stream freely, but the crowd isn't as sympathetic this time. The fissures in Kody's tale are beginning to appear, and Christine realizes she needs to push even harder. When the truth hurts, it's usually also the best ammunition you've got. Her attorney bends in. Use this, tell the whole story. Christine nods and turns to the courtroom. I did move money, because I was desperate. Because my children needed braces, clothes, food. And Kody told me, figure it out yourself. So I did. If that makes me guilty, then I'll own it. But don't mistake survival for betrayal. The gallery is quiet now, her words ringing harder than any argument of law. Even the judge hesitates, balancing the humanity in her confession. But Kody is not done. He leans in, his eyes hard. And what else, Christine? What else have you been keeping from me? Because I know this isn't the entire story. Christine's breath hitches. There is more. A secret she's never shared with anyone. Not even Janelle. The courtroom feels like it's tipping. Walls closing in. Christine swallows hard, her voice hardly above a whisper. If you want the truth, Kody, you better be ready to hear it. Because it's bigger than anything you've ever admitted yourself. The judge's gavel comes crashing down, but it's too late. The audience can sense something earth-shattering about to be revealed. Christine remains at attention in the witness box, her fingers shaking against the glossy wood, but her eyes fixed unerringly on Kody. The whole courtroom leans forward. Not a whisper, not a creak, not even the rustle of paper shattering the hush. What if the secret you've been keeping wasn't merely about survival, but about betrayal so profound that it would destroy everything the world thought it knew? Imagine Christine right now, knowing the truth would set her free, yet knowing it would reduce to ashes the last tenuous remnants of a family already destroyed. This isn't about Kody's lies anymore. This is about Christine finally unsealing the part of her life she's kept locked away for years, a truth that could flip the entire case upside down. And once she says it, there will be no going back. The scariest truths aren't the ones spoken against us, they're the ones we've buried inside ourselves. Christine takes a long, shaky breath. You want the truth, Kody? Fine, I'll give it to you. Her lawyer grips the table, visibly nervous, but Christine doesn't look at him. She doesn't look at Janelle, or Mary, or even the judge. Her eyes are glued to Kody, her voice steadying as she speaks. For years, I kept it quiet about something I knew would kill you if it ever got out. I figured defending the kids, defending the family, mattered more than the muck at the core. But I'm done defending you. Kody fidgets uncomfortably, his smirk wavering for the first time. Robyn leans over, whispering wildly, but Kody cuts her off with a headshake. Christine's voice turns stern. You speak of me transferring money? Of me being untruthful? The fact is, Kody, you were the one who required me to transfer money. You, and not I, planned the transfers, the accounts, the clandestinity, and now you're attempting to hang me for the exact same thing you ordered me to do. The courtroom gasps in unison. Pencils scratch furiously across notebooks, the sound of camera shutters firing like a clap of thunder. When a liar's trap closes, it occasionally springs the one who triggered it. Kody bangs his hand on the table. Lies, all lies. His voice trembles in the grip of fear, but Christine remains steadfast. You instructed me to pump money into accounts Robyn had access to. You instructed me not to question anything, and I complied because I was afraid. Afraid of what you would do if I wasn't compliant. Do you recall that, Kody? Or do you just recall the parts where you come across as the hero? Robyn puts her hand over her mouth, crying. For the first time, it doesn't appear to be a fake. Janelle's eyes go wide, and Mary recoils in her chair, white as a sheet. Christine continues, her tone rising. So when you speak of secrets, Kody, keep this in mind. My only secret was keeping your reputation safe. But if this court is interested in hearing the full truth, then let's shine the light where it is most deserved. On you. The judge's brow goes up. Interested. Mr. Brown, would you like to comment on these charges? Kody falters. She's manipulating it. She doesn't get how money works. Christine breaks in, quiet and measured. No, Kody. I got it perfectly. I just simply quit being afraid to let the world know. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the willingness to stop allowing fear to reign. The judge summons the records Christine mentioned for inspection. Her attorney has emails, text messages, and records indicating Kody making transfers. The proof is conclusive. The gallery is aghast now, some glaring at Kody openly, others speaking softly to one another about betrayal, greed, and hypocrisy. Robyn holds onto his arm more tightly, whispering, "Kody, speak." And but for once he has nothing to say. Christine exhales, her shoulders lighter, as if years of silence have finally lifted. She looks out at the audience, her voice softer but still resolute. "I carried this secret to protect my children from the fallout. I carried it because I thought exposing you would break us beyond repair. But the truth is, we were already broken, and the only way forward is honesty." The judge nods. "Thank you, Mrs. Brown. We'll review this evidence." Kody sits stiffly, his face blank, but his fingers tap against the table, restless, desperate. He looks like a man watching the empire he built turn to ash before his eyes. When the walls of power start to crumble, even kings will claw at the ruins to survive. Janelle rises from the gallery, her voice loud enough for all to hear. "Christine's not lying. I witnessed the way money was handled by Kody. I questioned it, and he said to trust him. But trust doesn't equal manipulation." Mary, reluctant but quivering with determination, at last contributes. "He said the same to me." The courtroom erupts with sound. Not only Christine, but now Janelle and Mary are turning their voices against him. Robyn appears trapped, her lips quivering, her eyes shifting between Kody and the judge. The judge bangs the gavel. "Order, order in the court." But Christine refuses to sit down. She leans forward, her last words more piercing than any document or testimony could. "Kody, you asked for the truth. And here it is. I remained silent all these years only because I believed you would change. Today I realized you never wished to change. You simply wished to dominate." The courtroom atmosphere seems weighted, stifling. Kody seems set to burst, but the judge adjourns the hearing before he can unleash whatever tempest rages within. As Christine gathers her papers, a bailiff quietly approaches her lawyer with a note. The lawyer reads it, his face darkening, then whispers to Christine, "You're not going to like this. Kody's lawyers just filed a motion to subpoena your personal journals." Christine's eyes open wide. Her journals, the only place her unvarnished thoughts, fears, and hidden truths reside. If those pages end up in the courtroom, her every piece of her soul could be exposed. Christine holds the note like it's an electric wire, her chest compressing with each passing second. The word journals hurts worse than anything Kody has ever said, worse than all the deceptions, worse than the embarrassment in court. Because those journals aren't proof, they're her heart. Imagine your deepest thoughts, your darkest nights, your rawest pain laid bare not just to strangers, but to the very person who weaponized your vulnerability for years. That's what Christine is facing now. For the first time, the battlefield isn't just legal documents or testimony, it's her soul on paper. If those journals are read aloud, Christine won't just risk losing the case, she stands to lose the story, the dignity she's fought tooth and nail to get back. But here's the thing, sometimes the one thing we fear being revealed is also the tool that frees us. When shame becomes a tool used against someone, the most courageous thing to do is not hide. The following morning, the courtroom is chillier, more oppressive. Reporters hum with excitement. A leak of the subpoena over the night has everyone waiting now to watch Christine's private life shattered like glass. The judge arrives, as always severe. Today we consider Mr. Brown's motion to bring Mrs. Brown's personal diaries into evidence. Christine's attorney stands up at once. "Your Honor, these diaries are private records, privileged and not applicable to the financial disputes before us." Kody jumps to his feet, booming out. "Those diaries establish her instability, her bitterness, her bias against me. The court needs to see the true Christine, not the show she gives for television." Christine holds the table so hard her knuckles turn white. For the first time there is doubt. What if Kody's right? What if the things she wrote late at night in times of desperation make her sound crazy rather than strong? The judge exhales. "We will review excerpts from the journals to establish admissibility. Sometimes the toughest fights are the ones with ourselves." Christine's lawyer squeezes her shoulder. "We'll fight this, but if parts are read, own it, don't run from it." The bailiff brings forward a slim box of bound journals. Christine feels naked watching them placed on the evidence table. Kody smirks, already certain victory is his. Robyn rests her head against his shoulder, tears shining like diamonds in the camera flashes. The judge picks a passage out of the blue. Mrs. Brown, is that your handwriting? Christine nods. The judge starts. Some nights, I wonder if I'm the problem. If maybe I stayed too long, hoping Kody would love me the way he loves her. And when he doesn't, I hate myself for not being enough. Gasps ring out in the courtroom. Christine tightens her throat, shame burning hot on her face. Kody smirks further. But then something changes. Janelle rises, her voice firm. Every woman in this family has written words like that, even if they never wrote them on paper. That journal isn't weakness, it's evidence of what Kody subjected us to. Mary pauses, then agrees. She's right. We all experience that hurt. Christine just had the guts to write it down. What one man calls weakness, another will see as the truth. The judge goes on reading another passage. If I leave, will I destroy my children, or will I at least teach them what love is meant to be? Christine swallows, her voice cracking as she rises to her feet. Yes, I did write it. And yes, I did doubt myself. But doubt doesn't make me unreliable. It makes me human. Those journals aren't proof of guilt. They're proof of survival. Her words echo in the room like the ringing of church bells. Some of the gallery nod. Others wipe at tears. Even the judge sits back, his expression relaxing. Kody, enraged, screams, "You see? She confesses she wanted to kill me. She poisoned the family." Christine turns to him, her voice fierce. "No, Kody, I wanted to save myself. And maybe, just maybe, I wanted to save them from you." The silence that lies after is deafening. The truth can't be distorted when it's spoken without fear. The judge pushes the journals aside. This court does not accept personal musings as reason for impeaching testimony. We will move on to the financial testimony in front of us. Kody thumps back into his seat, fists curled, his empire of domination unraveling brick by brick. Robyn holds to him, but the glint in her eye is gone. It's terror. Christine exhales, relief and fortitude mingling. She has confronted her greatest fear and come out the other side. The rest of the session is a war of papers and testimony, but the atmosphere has changed. With every word Kody says, the gravity of Christine's bravery weighs him down. Every tear Robyn cries feels more hollow than before. By the end of the day, the judge speaks his words with finality. This court finds no basis to sustain Mr. Brown's allegations. Christine Brown's testimony remains credible. The matter of financial manipulation rests squarely with Mr. Brown. The gavel falls. Christine's knees almost buckle, not because she is weak, but because she is shedding a burden she has carried for years. Victory doesn't always look like triumph. Sometimes it looks like peace. Journalists gather as Christine emerges, Janelle and Mary at her side like pillars of strength. "Christine, how is it to win?" one cries. Christine hesitates, tears welling but smile firm. "It's not about winning. It's about finally being heard." Behind her, Kody bullies through the cameras, his face contorted in anger. Robyn in tow, whispering urgently. The sister wives' empire has broken in the most public manner possible, and the man who used to have total power gets away with nothing but resentment. Christine gazes out across the sea of cameras, then straight into one lens as if speaking to all women everywhere. Don't let somebody else's lies shut your mouth about your truth. Even if it takes decades, say it, because freedom is always worth fighting for. The onlookers applaud, reporters yell, and Christine steps out into the sunlight, her children sitting at the courthouse steps waiting for her. They dash up to her, embracing her tightly, and for the first time in years, Christine is complete. When the truth finally prevails, the wounds are still there, but so is the resilience. As the screen darkens, a final phrase sticks. Christine didn't win just her case, she won back herself. And now I want to know from you, after all that Christine went through, do you think Kody will ever be held accountable for his behavior? Or is he too far gone in his own ego? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and let's discuss.